Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. So on Thursday, I was like, I hope on Monday I'll be sitting here. I'll be telling you guys that all the stressful things that were happening in my business the last 2 weeks are done. They've been put to bed and I'm just back to normal. And I can tell you that's exactly what has happened. Like I said, one day maybe I'll be able to tell you guys what happened, but it was like a legal situation and it was very big and scary. I dealt with it the best that I could, but it was actually so wild and my mental health was so bad for 2 weeks. If you follow me on TikTok, you know I posted a video literally crying on the internet. But anyways, it is all resolved. Everything is done. Also, I should say, given that I am a media brand and a podcast that talks about people, it was not related to like defamation or anything like that. It was such a freak situation. Another company had been mistaken for my company. Anyways, it was like this whole mess, but I was very scared, of course, at the time. But it is done. Anyways, let's just get right into the stories. I have quite a few stories for you guys today to, again, make up for no deep dive on Friday, but there will be a deep dive this Friday. We are back to normal schedule now. So the first story that I have for you guys is I wanted to talk about all the Lorde and Charli XCX drama, quote unquote, because they have made up on the remix, as we know. So Charli XCX and Lorde have squashed their beef, revealing they made up on the remix of Charli's song Girl So Confusing together from her new hit album Brat. So on Girl So Confusing, Charli compares herself to another female pop star. She sings, "People say we're alike. They say we've got the same hair. We talk about making music, but I don't know if it's honest. Can't tell if you want to see me falling over and failing. And you can't tell what you're feeling. I think I know how you feel." So the song was revealed to be about Lorde, and she features on the remix. As we all know, it like literally broke the internet over the weekend. But first, here's like what went down. Here's kind of like the high level story of Lorde and Charli XCX. So Lorde and Charli released breakout hits around the same time. Charli with I Love It and Lorde with Royals. In 2014, an interviewer confused Charli with Lorde, asking her how she came up with the song for Royals, or like the idea behind Royals.
One of my favorite songs that you have is Royals. Where did you get the inspiration for that?
Royals came from, just me looking at like how I'm from New Zealand, from like a small town, and like I'm not really part of that bougie like lifestyle culture, so I thought I'd write a song about it.
Charli played along and said that she's from New Zealand, so she doesn't relate to that bougie scene. And it became a running joke in Charli's fandom to ask her to play Royals kind of off the back of this interview. Obviously, they do have a bit of a resemblance, so they've always been compared. They came out around the same time, I think that's just unfortunately like what happens in Hollywood, in the music industry. Women are pit against each other constantly, and that's just, in my opinion, like a classic case. Like this was a classic case of that between Lorde and Charli. And then, of course, being constantly pit against someone else, whether it's valid or not, like whether you actually have beef with them or not, it's going to make you feel insecure. It's going to make you feel a certain type of way about that person as well. So, I think it just makes sense. There was a lot of like miscommunication between the two of them, and there was a lot of kind of insecurities and confusing feelings, I think, because of how the industry treated them. So in May of this year, 2024, Charli told Rolling Stone UK that she compared herself a lot to Lorde in the mid-2010s around the Royals era. So she said, when Royals came out, I was super jealous of the success that song got and that Ella got. You piece all this stuff together in your brain, like she was into my music, she had big hair, I had big hair, she wore black lipstick, I once wore black lipstick. You create these parallels and think, wow, that could have been me. So when Brat came out, there was a ton of speculation that Girl So Confusing was about Lorde. Lorde was then spotted at Charli's concert, and then shortly after, Charli announced that Lorde was going to be on the remix. Lorde's verse seems to respond back to Charli's insecurities while also letting her know that everything is okay. She says, well, honestly, I was speechless when I woke up to your voice note. Oh my God, I can't read this, like these lyrics without like hearing it in my head. If I accidentally start singing it, I'm sorry. You told me how you'd be feeling. Let's work it out on the remix. You'd always say, let's go out, but then I'd cancel last minute. I was so lost in my head and scared to be in your pictures because for the last couple years, I've been at war in my body. I tried to starve myself thinner and then I gained all the weight back. I was trapped in the hatred and your life seemed so awesome. I never thought for a second. My voice was in your head. Girl, you walk like a bitch. When I was 10, someone said that, and it's just self-defense. Until you're building a weapon, she believed my projection, and now I totally get it. Forgot that inside the icon, there's still a young girl from Essex, because I ride for you, Charli. This verse has literally broke the internet. First of all, it's just so nice to see these two women publicly, and in their art form, address the industry, pitting them against each other, but then also address their internal turmoil that they were going through. And I think that's just so relatable. It's super relatable on Charli's side to feel jealous of the person that you feel like you're in direct competition with, that the industry is making you in direct competition with. And it's also from Lorde's perspective when she's like, I never thought that I was in your head at all. I was dealing with my own demons. That's also incredibly relatable because so often when you have this kind of messiness between friends or relationships like that between women, it's it actually has nothing to do with if you actually have drama or beef. It quite often manifests from a place of, insecurity or self-defensiveness or whatever it is. And I think that this whole verse and this whole remix is just so beautiful, even though, of course, it's still in Charli XCX's classic, dance pop, hyper pop vibe. It's so powerful and beautiful, and I love it. So that's the story of them. And then one last tidbit about Charli XCX. She had to tell her fans to stop chanting Taylor is dead at her concerts because, as we know, I think I reported on it last week, but people are speculating that Taylor is re-releasing or releasing, I guess, all these different versions of Tortured Poets Department to knock Charli off #1 or block her from getting #1 in the UK with Brat. So, yes, I guess people are chanting that at her concerts. And she's like, can you stop? This is literally so toxic. It's also exactly what she just addressed with Lorde on Girl So Confusing. So, anyways, on to the next story. MrBeast has defended trans friend Ava Tyson. So, we all know that Ava worked with MrBeast and actually also co-hosted his channel for quite a while before she transitioned and, was a huge part of the MrBeast channel, of the MrBeast family, the fandom, all of that. And then a couple of years ago, I believe it was, she started transitioning or asking, to use she, her pronouns and things like that. So anyways, MrBeast has been very supportive of this. And, I am if MrBeast has one hater, it's me. But I want to give him credit where credit is due. And I think that this is an important story to talk about because MrBeast is one of the most visible creators in the world. He has the most followers. He is a white man from the South in the US, and he is standing up for trans rights. And I think that's an important thing to talk about. So Nick Merckx, who is a creator, streamer, manosphere guy, FaZe Clan. I think he's part of FaZe Clan. His username says FaZe Nick Merckx. But FaZe has had such a rebrand and a restructure. So I'm not sure if he has remained in FaZe Clan. But anyways, so Ava had posted something on Twitter over the weekend and Nick wrote, "You should be ashamed of yourself, leaving your wife and child to play pretend. One day you'll wake up and realize what you've done." And play pretend as in, I guess, quote unquote, pretend to be a girl. So Drama Alert, Keemstar, had reported on this Twitter interaction. And then MrBeast responded to Drama Alert's Twitter and wrote, "Ava is literally always with her kid and doesn't even go on shoots to spend more time with him. Tuckman is always smiling, not sure why this rumor is a thing." So look, it's the bare minimum, in my opinion, of a friend to do that. But MrBeast, like I said, he is the most followed creator in the world. And it's important also to think about who his audience is. His audience, for the most part, is young men and boys. So for their fave, this person that they idolize, he is God to them. For him to be standing up for trans rights is super powerful. It's very important. And I think it's great to see, and I'm glad that MrBeast spoke out about this, that he said that. It's such a disgusting narrative to hear somebody say, you left your wife and kid for this. as if transitioning your gender doesn't mean that you couldn't still be a present parent or a very good parent. Like, it has truly nothing to do with it. So I really appreciate that he also stood up for that part of it, and said like that this is just not true. Like, Ava is a great parent. So you know what? Kudos to MrBeast. Thank you, MrBeast, for saying that. And MrBeast is also in Australia right now. And apparently, if you buy Feastables, this is not sponsored, but if you buy Feastables right now, you are entered to win a car, I think, if you're in Australia. So maybe I'll go buy a Feastable at lunch. Okay, anyways, the next story that I have for you guys is that Madeline Argy and Harry Jowsey are quote unquote not dating, despite speculation. This is kind of a womp womp story, but whatever. So Cannes Lions Festival was last week, and multiple photos of TikToker Madeline Argy and reality star Harry Jowsey were posted all over the internet, and many people were like, okay, are they together? What's going on here? A few of the photos did make it seem like they were getting kind of cozy. They were like looking at his phone together, laughing. They were like in close quarters. There's one photo where his arm is like, I don't know if it's like around her, if it's just kind of like behind her, but either way, they're like getting close. At least it seemed like that. However, news sources have told TMZ that they are not together and they are simply friends because they are both part of Alex Cooper's Unwell network, which is not that surprising, actually. When you think about the Unwell connection, of course, they would know each other and probably pretty well. That being said, Madeline was linked to Central C on and off for a very long time. I don't know where they stand now, but I know that they were like very on and off, while Harry has recently been linked with reality star Jess Vestal. Vestal? I'm sorry if I said that. Vestal, I think. Because the two have a relationship that's currently playing out on Netflix's show Perfect Match. So if you thought that Madeline and Harry were dating, you're wrong. And that's that on that. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys is that Kouvr, Annon, and Alex Warren are married. This is such a throwback. So Hype House alum Kouvr Annon and Alex Warren officially wed in California on Saturday. The wedding, interestingly, also had a lot of references to Taylor Swift. So there's references to Who's Afraid of Little Ol' Me. I think Kouvr posted her official kind of like wedding reveal TikTok video to that song. And then there was a lot of references, of course, to Lover throughout the venue and like the event. So for example, an entrance to go outside at the venue read "at every table." And then behind this like photo wall, or on this photo wall, I guess, with like a couch where you could take, guest photos and things like that, it said, "I'll save you a seat," which obviously that whole line goes together in Lover. So some notable guests were Charli D'Amelio and Markel Washington. And yeah, this is just so cute. I mean, we know Kouvr and Alex began dating in 2018, and they were both founding members of the Hype House. They announced their engagement on New Year's Eve 2022. And I mean, they really are the only couple that was left standing in that like OG TikTok era when TikTok really blew up and we were like obsessed with those kids. And they stuck the course, stayed the course. They stuck it out and stayed the course. I was trying to combine those two. But yeah, so I think this is so sweet. I love that, they've just stayed together. They seem really supportive of each other. They seem super in love, and it's cute. Okay, and then the last story that I have for you guys, speaking of Taylor Swift and love, Travis Kelce joined Taylor Swift on stage at the Eras Tour. So Swifties attending London's Eras Tour on Sunday night got a very exciting surprise when Travis Kelce joined Taylor on stage for I Can Do It With a Broken Heart. It was actually really cute. I mean, it was kind of cringe, but like, of course it was going to be cringe. I don't know if we expected anything different to see Travis Kelce dancing on stage with Taylor. And of course, we also know that this weekend they went Instagram official with a selfie with the royal family. So that is quite the hard launch. Anyways, guys, that is it for Mini Scroll today. I hope you guys liked this episode. I hope you liked the podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe if you do. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.